put the time and date in and the video number just so I could go back as a reference. I found this footage in my boats on the horizon. I'm not sure if I ever showed it, but it was pretty interesting when I use these to compare to some of my other videos. And what I liked about this one was it was showing exactly what I was saying about that halfway marker, and later on I'll show you what I'm talking about. But this mirroring zone, or this mirage zone, um, it's really a deception. It's very deceiving to the eye. And this is days like the days that all the trolls want to go out and make an observation of bridges that are supposed to be straight and show them kind of bending downward, which this in turn will cause objects to bow down or appear to be going down over the curve. Um, and if you noticed, shortly back there, I should have pointed out that was the Bayport rack. Later on, I think I zoomed back in on it, but you can see everything beyond the Bayport rack, and the Bayport rack is all being mirrored out. And when things get past a certain point, when there's a lot of mirroring, all it does is just mirror into its own reflection. Now we take this concept, and on days where we have really good visibility, um, sometimes there's still mirroring going on beyond it, depending on the weather conditions, or what's appears to be what was on the horizon, as far as if there's a heavy mist or some kind of a blockage. Like this is all just blockage, and in the next video too, it also has some blockage, um, because you can't really see the clouds. It's just like a haze or a buildup of fog. But the same concept goes for back there. When you do have good visibility, what's beyond the visible water is more deception, more of this mirroring effect that does occur, even though in the video, my secondary video in this, it will say, look, Ma, no mirror. No mirror within the realm that I'm looking at as far as comparing it to this. This is very heavily mirrored, and obviously you can see how this mirroring affects these boats. They go to the vanishing point, or they mirror into themselves and go to the vanishing point much faster than if it wasn't mirrored out. Now here's the Bayport rack, and look at this boat beyond it. You can see people in it, and these people are standing in nothing but water. This one you can barely see his boat, but it does appear that they're standing in water, like their boat's underwater. They got a submarine out there, folks, and the other boat was moving along right on top of the water. This one's just mirroring itself again into its own reflection. It's mirror imaging, and like I say, that mirror image is stretching out over a long piece of ground, even though it doesn't appear to. What is being reflected is being stretched farther than the object itself is. So in other words, the object's just sticking up a certain portion, and the rest is all being mirrored out over a longer distance. That's why you can't really just split it in half and call it, halfway mark is the actual horizon, or where the visible water would be usually at. Okay, because it's actually beyond that, even beyond the boat, because again, the sky is just being mirrored and mirrored beyond it. And in the secondary video, you will see this. It's pretty obvious, and this is what observations. I was just watching uh, that physicist Kaku, Machio Kaku, or something like that. Cuckoo, cuckoo, kaka, cuckoo. Uh, he says that they don't go by the scientific method, that they actually go by the seat of their pants, guesswork, all this stuff. But I mean, just look at this observation that I'm making here. That, I mean, you can obviously see the boat that is in the visible water and the boat that's in the invisible water. So this is a um, big deception on where the actual water is, because the water does extend, I believe, higher than this that marker 11 that was just standing up there in front of me, and it's above this marker number 5 too. The water extends out there, and in this next video I will try to explain that a little bit further. But even here, you know, you see this boat out there, you see the guy setting his dive flag. In the month of July, they're usually out there getting scallops. They usually open up scallop season, so all the boats, that's why there's so many boats in the water this particular day. And I had a lot of footage, people. I must have videotaped out there for hours. But this is just one 7-minute clip. And I kind of picked it out because it did show the Bayport rack, which, you know, I wanted people to be able to compare this next video to. But I also wanted them to see all the other racks that are visible. So the one video that I picked out for this next part is 15 minutes long, with a few slowed down parts and then some sped up parts. I think there's a picture in there where I took a picture, a screenshot, because I wanted to point out something. But obviously, this boat is in the water that appears like the sky. And this is one of the things they're always saying, that, oh, you know, the boats beyond this are all over the curvature of Earth. I mean, if you buy that, I got a bridge to sell you in Louisiana in the swamp grounds. It's a good bridge. It's sturdy. It's solid. But I'm sorry, it ain't got much of a curve to it. It's just a straight, flat bridge. But hey, it's cheap. So I have it if you want to buy it. Alright, we're going to go into this secondary video, and the first part of it I slowed way down because I wanted to make a point or be able to show you this one rack. This is the Hernando Beach rack that was not in the, it wasn't in the waypoint marker, but it's definitely on my navigation map. And as I measured it on my navigation map, it is approximately 5.75 miles. Now remember, I am only giving you these approximate distances. Okay, the Billy Stills rack 8.63. I used a tape measure. Right here was the picture I took, and what I wanted to point out was that these two top poles are pretty level with each other. So is this my eye level? And that's what I say. I think that's pretty much my eye level. And when we look at this eye level, there is water beyond that visible water that's right behind the boat. And that's what I kind of wanted to pick out and show. And then I'm going to zoom back a little bit. I always got this bad habit of zooming in all the way. And then I kind of like take away some of the background or the boats that are going to approach and just make, I mean, you can barely see them because they go through the screen so quick. So I back off a little bit to give you a little more of an open view. And of course, I put this line back up there, and that's where I'm saying that the horizon is. Now, my camera is not perfectly level either out there. A lot of times, you know, I get off work, I rush out to Bayport or Pine Island to, you know, try to film as much as I possibly can. On this particular day, I think I was in a rush because it was a work day. Not quite sure. I mean, this portion was back in March 2016 too, 26th. And this was later in the day. So maybe I got off work early. It's a possibility. Or it could have been the weekend and I had yard work to do. But anyhow, obviously you can see that there is water going well beyond this boat. I mean, at least obviously I can. And then you have right here This is like a gorilla in the mist, Cutter's Rock at 11.02 miles. And I'm at the Bayport park. Now, both the first part of this footage and this part was all taken from the fishing pier park where the fishing pier is. So I'm up on the seawall, approximately 10 feet up off the water on both of them. Tide apparently looks approximately the same when I compare the videos. You know, when I zoom back and compare them, I can tell that both of them are from approximately the same height, the same tide. Now I'm going to put some natural audio on, but first I wanted to mention this area in the background, how that haze, how that distortion line or light diffraction is occurring. All right, to natural audio.
Here, visiting from Illinois.
See the horizon line?
Uh-huh.
That boat. Do you see it out there in the water?
That's a long way out there. Oh, you're getting the one going this way, on the other side of that closer one there.
Yeah, it's way out there.
Wow.
Okay, it's right behind
shit,
that.
Yeah, I see the both of them there.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a long fucking way out there.
Hey, I got videos of Saturn.
No shit.
Yeah, 746 million miles on an average. I'm like, that can't be. They lie.
You ain't lying.
They lie, because this ain't the Mini Hubble. I call it my Mini Hubble, though.
Right.
I call it my Mini Hubble. It's compact, it's portable, and you can take it anywhere.
You sell these videos and stuff?
No, I put them on YouTube for free.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
fucking cool.
This is my experiments on the horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because depending on if the sun was out and it was shining bright, you would see a different water line. With all this cloud cover, it's actually allowing me to see much further out.
Okay.
Because the sun blinds you.
Right.
Okay, it's being blinded by the light actually is what you're doing. And it actually create a water line out there that ain't the true water line.
Okay.
You know, I got pictures of boats floating on top of the water or up in the air above this water line.
All right.
And people say it's a mirage. I said no. The mirage, or the mirage, the illusion is where that water line actually is. The water line actually goes much farther back, but it's where the ceiling and the floor meet. Okay, the sky and the water.
Mm-hmm.
There's a band out there. See the band just above the water line?
Right.
That band is where they're converging. The sky and the water are compressed right there. So right now with all this overcast, see, I wouldn't be able to really see this boat out there if it was real shiny. If it was real sunny, I wouldn't see this boat.
What is your YouTube channel?
You can look for me on, I got a video out there, it's called Sunset Window into Heaven on YouTube. If you find that, you can, my channel is Wide Awake, and you can look at a bunch of my videos that I got posted. I just started posting videos not too long ago. I'm not great at
Wide Awake, you said?
yeah, I'm not great at editing videos. And I really stink about putting music on some of them. Some of them sound real good, but
Just not subscribe to the channel.
You got it. That's me. This is sped up 2 times speed. It's funny going back and listening to what I said back in 2016, and I still suck at cutting and editing videos. Only because I'm more of an observer than anything. I pay attention to the details. You know, I look at these channel markers, the close ones compared to the far ones. I'm always looking at, you know, the background, the foreground, and I'm always paying attention to all these racks out there. And you know, yeah, I've made mistakes in the past when you know, I was calling Billy Steele's rack Cutter's Rock, but this one You know, obviously you can see these boats further in the background that are much further away than this boat. Then you got this small boat coming directly in toward me. Not directly at me, but back into shore. Uh, and you can see when, you know, these boats are going, some of these big boats can actually move pretty quick. And then here's the Bayport rack. And again, it's approximately 3.5 miles away. And then you can see this little sign to the left of the screen, just above the water. And then you see the North Bayport beacon light, which is approximately 8.05 miles away. Now, you know, when we look at this stuff, again, you have to realize how far back these other boats are, because it, you know, always gives you this appearance that these other boats aren't as far back as what you might think, but they are actually miles apart from each other. And you'll see, and that's why I left this part of the video going, because you'll see other boats going that are actually beyond this boat, that are quite small. And actually, the other footage that I do have of this, again, this was a day I spent quite a bit of time out there and filmed for as long as I could. And got some really good footage. I think I stayed out there 3, maybe 4 hours until I had to go home and eat. My wife calls me, "Where are you? You're going to eat a cold dinner if you don't get home." And me, I hate being late for dinner. I'm a little skinny guy. Now look at this boat. Look how much farther that boat is beyond this boat. And you even get to see a few dolphin in there, um, bobbing up and down. I mean, could you imagine if that dolphin was to jump out of the water and you could see the whole thing and it'd be almost as big as that boat? I mean, come on, people, you got to take into consideration perspective. If you don't, you will never understand it. And that's what a lot of these globe trolls say to us, is that you don't understand it. You don't understand it. You don't understand your science. You don't understand this. You don't understand that. But you go and you look at their channel, they have absolutely nothing to prove. That's how you know they're a troll and that they're not even worth speaking to, because you know that they have nothing to show of their own to prove what they're saying. All they have is their belief and the scientist, or in scientism, and most of it is pseudoscience. Right here, I did complete full zoom in on the boat, and you can obviously see that boat is still in the water. You still see its wake, and you know, again, think for yourself, folks. I'm not out here to make you believe, but I'm out here just to try to make you understand, by just simple observation and simple common sense, understanding convergence, parallel lines, and how the light and mirroring can deceive you. All right, thanks a lot for watching, folks.